in Dakota with my Module 13 reflection on copyright and fair use. There was a lot more that went into the criteria of breaking down, copyright and fair use than what I had thought. And some of the things that really surprised me were, or that I found, ridiculous somewhat, was, the amount of work that can be used, when you're copying, the significance of what you're using within the whole work. I didn't quite understand that. The biggest I thought were, making copies of the original to sort of dodge having to buy textbooks, and using copies for more than one semester or class or period or whatever. I would probably guess that those two happen more often than not, and do go unchecked. An example that I could think of, may or may not have been an example, is my in high school I had a French class, and there was a unit which ran with watching the 1990s version, the French version of Dinner for Schmucks, and every class watched the movie and did the work to go with it, but I doubt that my French teacher had gotten express permission to show the movie to the class, and any other class that she had taught. Well, according to the criteria, it would have been a copyright violation. Again, it seems somewhat ridiculous that showing a movie to a class for educational purposes, whether you got permission or not, would be get someone in trouble. As far as the little copyright quiz, I scored a 38. And I would say that most of the situations I just didn't know that they were wrong, and a handful just struck me as odd for not being considered fair use. The questions that stuck out the most were the ones. It was one using a movie that was donated by Blockbuster as a reward for attendance. It's kind of similar in a way to my French class. And then the media aid taping the show 60 Minutes without having another teacher tell the aide that they needed it. I didn't quite understand why that would be, in violation of a copyright law, but yeah. Overall, I think that, copyright and fair use laws are just very vague and hard to follow, 100% of the time. However, in the classroom, it would be good to be, as familiar as possible with them,